Worldwide at 1060WMEL.com, sponsored by AVET Project. Folks, you keep hearing the advertisements on WMEL about the big Valentine's Day. There's still time to come to the AVET Project Valentine's Day brunch and jazz. Go online, real simple, avetproject.org. Click on the events tab. It'll lead you through. Buy your ticket, because after, I don't know, Miss Producer, what do you think? They got till 1500 today. By 3 o'clock today, we have to close it out, okay, because we got to pay the hotel bill. So if you want tickets, go there now and help us help our military family, which is what we are all about. Nobody at AVET Project, we are all unpaid volunteers doing incredible things. Plus, we have a tremendous amount of fun, don't we, Glenn?
Oh, absolutely. And that, that's going to be from 10 to 1, and we got a jazz band there and all kinds of free giveaways.
Oh, yeah, lots.
Oh, wow, it's going to really treat your sweetheart, whichever way.
Isn't that the key? Whether you're the husband or the wife or the boyfriend or the girlfriend, get plugged in. And kids are welcome. We've got some 25 kids registered to attend. There are games for everybody, games for the kids, and there's a chance to renew your wedding vows. We have all the certificates. It's not one of these where you got to get up in person and be embarrassed. This is going to be a mass renewal. Are you going to renew your vows? We got the certificate.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
See, everybody's going to get their vows renewed. Pastor Rob Medina, we want to thank him for that. So much going on tomorrow at 10 a.m. at the Doubletree by Hilton, Cocoa Beach Oceanfront. Get your tickets. And you heard we've got some phenomenal prizes, some silent auction items, and also some really incredible games, not just for the children, but the adults that are in attendance. I'm not even going to tell them. Should I tell them a little bit? No. Incredible games that you're going to get a chance to win prizes at. So it's a fun time tomorrow, 10 a.m. And I just have to say one more time, Brevard Brass, we want to thank them because they're providing the entertainment for the entire day. Praise God, because these guys are phenomenal. They're a very upbeat jazz band. But as you heard from Jim Malucky on the first segment with Forensic Accounting, who's the band leader, I'll say, they do more than just jazz. They can do anything.
Yeah, he talked about doing Norwegian Wood, so if you're a Beatles fan, you get to hear that also.
And we'll, visit the website and you can find out more about him. And obviously, Keltec is a phenomenal supporter. They've sponsored a table at tomorrow's event. And obviously, also, Doug Torpy and Ed and everybody at Frogbones Family Shooting Center. It's going to be a really fun time. You don't want to miss that. Now, this time of the month, every second Saturday, we are so privileged to have AVET Project's Director of Counseling, Joanne Ivins, with her segment, Journey of the Spirit. Cue that music, Vince. On the line with us now is Joanne. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Excellent. Well, thank you for sharing some time with us on American Warrior Radio today.
That is my honor and privilege. Thank you.
Okay, so we have a special day coming up tomorrow, Valentine's Day. And I know you being a Native American, you're very plugged into spirituality and really just the offerings of the earth and how we can love the earth, the planet, and other people around us, everything generally. So what's our topic today?
Today, I want to talk about communication, because believe it or not, men and women don't think alike. Did you know that?
Never would have guessed.
Oh, no.
Never would have done that, huh? So I'm going to tell you, to start this off, I'm going to tell you a little story about my husband and I to show you how we don't understand each other sometimes.
Fire away.
Ready? So my husband used to stop at this bar after work for a beer with his friends. So one night, I thought, oh man, I'm so tired of this. So I left him a little note, and I said, would you please not stop every night and just come on home, because we would like to have you home. And then I took the kids and I went to the movie theater. Well, I came home, and there was a note for me, and it said, I'm leaving till you straighten up. And I thought, what? And it's so funny because he thought I must have taken off, and so he got in the car and drove 2 hours to my brother. Now, is that lack of communication there?
Or miscommunication. I don't know what I'd phrase that, but yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. I mean, this is a long, long time ago, but men and women do not think alike. I mean, they just don't don't know how to communicate. And one of the I want to go over really quick things because later on I want to introduce my son-in-law because I like to talk a little bit.
Of course.
But right now I want to just talk about the tone of voice is so important. Have you ever heard people when they start getting mad, their voice goes up, and then that when the voice goes up, the other person shuts them off. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So you have to really be careful and don't talk mad. Have you ever heard people outside going, just screaming at each other and that kind of? Do you communicate when they're doing that? No. Then their defenses are up to argue back. So
But Joanne, it's hard to argue with Glenn in a whisper, so we kind of get into shouting.
That's why I'm doing this for you guys to learn how to communicate. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
That'll help.
You have my attention now.
Okay, so one of the things is to take time to communicate because believe it or not, he cannot read your mind and she cannot read your mind. And I'm going to give you an example of this. Okay, you guys ready?
Go ahead.
So a couple are talking and she says, we've been together for 6 months. He starts staring off into space and she thinks, oh no, maybe I am making him nervous about our relationship. And he is thinking 6 months. Maybe get my tires rotated. That's men and women, right?
Differing perspectives, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And that can lead to miscommunication, obviously.
Obviously, because sometimes you'll say something and the other person's kind of staring off. Sometimes they're thinking about it, and sometimes they're thinking of how they're going to say back, whatever. But you can't imagine what they're thinking. You have to ask them, what is it you're thinking, And the best way to start a talk is for each of you to tell how you feel when something happens. Because I'm sure you guys have never argued, right?
Never happens.
Not me.
Yeah. So have you ever, when you're talking to your wives, ever said, I feel da-da-da-da when you did this? Have you ever talked like that?
No.
No, I can't say. Is that what we're supposed to do? Kim, our producer is nodding her head yes. I don't know, but anyway.
Yes, because instead of going, oh man, that made me mad when you blah, 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 that's not communicating. That's just starting another argument. You know what I mean? So to let somebody know how you feel, you have to actually, if there's you guys are aggravated at each other, just walk away for a few minutes. Just give me a minute and wait till you calm down, either one of you or both of you, whatever, and then come back and then say, this is how I feel. I feel like when you say that, it makes me feel da-da-da-da-da. Because the other person can't know that that's what he said or she said hurt their feelings or made them feel inadequate or whatever. So you have to express yourself. And a lot of couples don't do that.
So it's a failure to communicate clearly. That's what we're talking about. I mean,
Have
and
a few little tidbits about how to communicate because a lot of people really don't know how to communicate. And this is one for you guys. Ready? Pay more attention to your partner than your phone.
Oh,
How many
yeah.
couples did you see out to dinner and they got their phones and they're just texting and not even talking?
it's the way of the world now, really.
Yes, a societal problem.
It's huge. And even at home, I see people texting instead of paying attention to their kids. They're texting because they think it's more important to communicate with somebody that's out there has nothing to do with their home environment. They need to put it away and just spend some time. Because I've got a rule now at my house. When everybody comes over for dinner, their phones have to be put away.
Oh, I like that.
Communicate.
Yeah.
They're there to be, I want to talk to you. What's going on with you? We started playing some kind of game that, one of these games where you have these little questions and we pass it around the table and say, what would you do with whatever, da-da-da? Because then you're communicating.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Yeah.
going to be a really lack of communication anymore.
It's so we live in an impersonal world now, and I was just pointing my finger because everybody that watches American Warrior Radio listens to us. Also, you can watch it online because all these episodes are uploaded to our social media platforms. And I pointed to her because she'll be on her phone whether we're driving down the road. I'm driving. I'm not on my phone. Maybe I'll make a phone call, but I don't text. She'll be on her phone doing this, that, or the other. And I'm talking to her, and she's not listening, Joanne. She's in her phone. She's got her blinders on. She's got that phone blindness.
Well, you better take care of her tomorrow at the Valentine's Day.
Yeah, one of the things is, because I know that a lot of times you're on the phone because you're traveling a long time and you're getting this stuff done, and if you're working, it's working things and stuff like that. But think of the time that you guys are not talking all the time that's going on instead of listening. You know what I mean? You're trying to say something, and she's saying, then later on she goes, what? And it's like you've communicated and said all that for nothing.
About 30 times a day.
Yeah. So you need to, how do we say that? I really feel like you're disrespecting me when you are texting and I'm trying to talk to you.
Can I use that one? I feel like you do. I don't know if that's going to fly. She might swat at me, Joanne.
Yeah. One of the most important things is actually respect for each other because, believe it or not, what do people do anymore after they've been married for a while? Instead of, oh, I think they're so wonderful, they went to work and they did this and that, and I think it was so wonderful that they did whatever. Picked up the trash, brought us some hamburgers, whatever. They'd spend most of the time thinking about what they didn't like. Oh my God, I can't believe you went and did this, and I can't believe you went and did that. And you need to start really concentrating on the things that you loved about them in the first place and the things that they do, because everybody's struggling and working as hard as they can and doing whatever they can, to help the family or be a part of everything.
For sure. We're talking with Joanne Ivins, AVET Project's Director of Counseling, with her segment Journey of the Spirit every month on the second Saturday. I love what you're saying, though, because it really is putting the electronic age aside and have this interpersonal communication. That's so important for a relationship and really for our own mental health, right?
It is, and communication is everything. Think about it, trying to communicate with your children. They don't understand what you mean when you say, "Oh, leave me alone. Leave me alone. I just need to, whatever, time for myself or whatever." And they're thinking, "Oh, what did I do? It must be me." Children always think that it must be them. So you take that time to, no, something happened today, and I need to think about it. And I was upset about, let them know, and then they go, "Oh, it's not me," and they can go on and, same with your spouse. Okay, now I'm going to introduce you to my son-in-law, which he's been on once before.
Oh, he's been on a few times. Marty's been a regular guest, Joanne.
Yes, so Sergeant Marty Gonzalez, and as you know, he has 3 Purple Hearts and 2 Bronze Stars. And I'm going to have my daughter with him too talking, and what I wanted him to talk about was the brotherhood between warriors, because that lasts forever. And so I'm going to turn it over to Marty, and you guys can ask him questions or talk to him or whatever, because this is all about love, and love is just not husband and wife. It's everybody, children, family, friends, it's everybody. Okay?
Exactly, and this is
Marty.
This is all about the matter at heart, which is, and that's a good way to describe it, Valentine's Day tomorrow. All right, so everybody get in that mindset of let's make the world a little better by expressing this love rather than the negativity that Joanne indicated is so easy to grab at and repeat and regurgitate, Glenn, but the love, right?
The love is the key, and
He's already done.
okay, and we'll be right with you, Marty. And we're too easy to do nothing, which is not communicate, and it's much better if you take those suggestions that Joanne has given us. And hey, Marty, how you doing?
Well, and Marty, we're doing great, brother. Thank you for joining us here on Journey of the Spirit. Joanne shared a little of your history. You've been on American Warrior Radio a number of times. Just restate it for everybody so they have a sense of where you're coming from. Give them some context to your military service real quick.
Back in 2004, I was a battle Fallujah and Fountain of Fury. I got hurt a couple times out there and got a couple bronze stars and stuff trying to protect my Marines, which is what you're talking about. And for your brothers and stuff like that, when you're out there, you have unconditional love for those guys, and you want to protect them with everything you've got, especially as a sergeant. I wanted to put my life between them and a bullet.
Well, and Marty, that's a very special bond, I'm sure. I don't have that experience because I'm not a combat vet. Glenn?
Yeah, well, I spent a little time in
zones.
Vietnam, and I spent most of my time in Thailand at a B-52 base. But yeah, you still get the same thing. I mean, we're all in this together, and we got to look out for each other. And you don't forget those people. I still can remember everybody in my unit and things we did and so forth. And I know in the combat situation, it's even closer.
Well, because Marty, when those bullets start to fly from the bad guys to you, you're not thinking about God and country. You're thinking about the man or woman right next to you, right? Or driving in the truck or wherever you're at.
You're definitely thinking about how you're going to get them out, or plan of attack to get them out or help them out. But we always got something, I just know that we fight so hard to, put ourselves between a bullet and our grenade and our brothers. So it gets pretty tough, But in Battle of Fallujah, you hear all these battles that on me, but really, I was really trying to just fight for my brother to the right side. And, if it was my life that was given, I would rather it be my life than theirs. So I know they feel the same way.
And yeah, that's great. And I want to just say that, that's a big difference between people who have been in the military, particularly combat veterans, and the rest of the world. I don't think this goes on in corporate America.
No.
It's more dogfight to see who can
Climb over the other to get up the ladder.
There you go.
Whereas in your situation, the way you describe it, Marty, you are. The love you have for your fellow Marine or soldier or airman or sailor is to keep each other alive and get on the other side of it, right? So what about when you leave service? Okay, have you stayed in touch with a lot of these guys? Has that bond continued?
Of course, definitely. Afterwards, when you come home, you definitely want to keep in contact with everybody. Definitely double check them. If you know they're having trouble, you make sure you give them an extra shout out to them. It's tough because you want to be in contact with everybody, but sometimes you fall out. But the good thing is, like, you have other brothers, and they're able to reach out to those guys when say I'm sick or something, and I can't really reach out to those guys. They're able to pick up the slack. So it's really cool. Just how we make sure we buddy check each other, and just kind of, hey man, what's going on? Why are you in that funk? Get out of it. You gotta keep fighting through. And we definitely, it's just tough because you got 22 veterans a day killing themselves, and you're we sit here wondering why, and it's just a tough deal because even today, we call these guys, and you check them, and then next thing you know, that they may kill themselves, but at least they know they were loved, or at least they know somebody was trying to pay attention to them, and you want to give them at least that, let them know someone cares, and you just do your best at it.
Exactly, and we're talking to Sergeant Marty Gonzalez, United States Marine. Quite honestly, you have a certain amount of cachet, some celebrity assigned to you because of the Battle of Fallujah, and the fact that you've been on television describing the events over there. Can you share a little of that and whether that's available up on YouTube? So somebody out there that has no idea what we're talking about can at least get a little glimpse into what this brotherly love really is.
Right, you can go online and probably look up YouTube. It's Ultimate Warfare, Battle of Fallujah. You can see my story, a little bit of it, and just see what we went through out there in Fallujah back in 2004. And of course, when I came home, I had gotten a little trouble in Houston, and I decided the judge gave me an opportunity to change my life and help more veterans on top of that and share my story and get a veterans court here passed in Texas. So, I keep trying to find a way to incorporate my life to help my brothers as we're out, so that way they know they're not forgotten, and my sisters. I shouldn't just say my brothers, but, so I try to, be the example, even in this situation. I wasn't the greatest example, but, I fought through it. I fought through my bad times, and I'm standing on the other end, trying to fight and do the best I can to rebound from it and learn from it and make sure that it never happens again, but at the same time share my story, and hopefully a veteran that's going through my same situation doesn't have to hit rock bottom.
Isn't that the truth? Yep. You've been through it, so you can lead them down that path to a better place, a better way to live their lives because of the experiences that you've gone through. And that's no small accomplishment, by the way, going through and helping stand up a veterans treatment court there, which, can we say that it saved your life? I mean, you were not going in the right direction.
Yeah, told me something and I didn't like it, I just walked away. Or if I just did the bare minimum, then, you know, I was getting help. But, you know, as far as me, what I normally do, you know, today, if they don't help me and I don't get the satisfaction of the help that I need, I'll go and find something else, and I'll push to get the help that I need, or push to make sure that veterans get the help that they need. Because, you know, just because you go to the first door and you know, you don't like what you hear, then go to another door and get a second opinion and make sure that you get, you know, help. You know, ask your veterans that are out, what did they do? You know, to get, you know, what, you know, in their situation, what did they do?
Yep.
They have in their situation, so you can always find a vet that has a similar situation as you. And
You just have to be willing to reach out. And our producer, speaking of being pushy, she's been really pushy, even though I was going to get to it myself anyway, about the fact that you've now got a lovely wife and you've grown your family, and that's just an expression of even more love. And I don't know if Tawnee can hear me. Are you there, Tawnee? Well, thanks for being there, not just for American Warrior Radio, but for Marty and the whole family, because you're the glue, I can tell, that's helping him help others. Am I right with that?
Oh, yeah, for sure. And it takes, you know, it's not an easy road being the wife of a combat veteran, but I made the choice to love him through it, the good, the bad, and the ugly, so that's just where we're at. I mean, I've had to learn to let my ego go down a little bit when he's having his bad days and learn to not always be right and just love him through it, because he'll come out on the other end.
That's a pretty good little philosophy there, though. Just love them through it. I like that.
Yeah,
And
it's true, because you have to, because when, you know, guys that have PTSD, they have a very short fuse. So they could be having a really good day, and 2 seconds later, it can all of a sudden turn a 180, and you're like, whoa, what just happened?
Hey, Tawnee, we have about 30 seconds. If you were going to give some advice to spouses out there, both men and women spouses of our military, active duty and veterans, what would it be? You got 30 seconds. Give them a nugget, something they can hang on to.
Well, my thing is if you're having a hard time, it's only temporary. So try not to focus on that time. And like I said, love them through it, because there's good times ahead. And that same goes for the veterans that are thinking about killing themselves. This is only temporary, this bad time you're in. So fight through it, and you will see the light on the other end.
Love you so much. Keep up the great work there in Texas. And I just want to thank you, Tawnee, and Marty, and Joanne for joining us with this segment of Journey of the Spirit. We'll talk to you guys again next month. And Glenn, as always, we can't get this information out quick enough.
If you're a veteran experiencing crisis, dial 1-800-273-8255, press 1. And as always, don't forget, thank a vet. Hoorah!